Hi everyone, and welcome today to my channel, The Sacred Rainbow Warrior. Today I'm going to be talking about ADHD, narcissism, and men's groups. Welcome. Hi everyone. I'm angry. I'm angry today. What am I angry at? I'm angry and overwhelmed at the ignorance built into society. I've been on a really long journey of healing the masculine heart, healing the purity of my own heart, and this has meant I've had to remove toxic people from my life, mainly men, and to the point where I don't have any male friends. And I did this because they were becoming very toxic, very what's the word? Very misogynistic, and many other different things. You know, all these things that come with toxic masculinity. And I went on this spiritual journey with plant medicine, and I've come out the other side and being told by my guides to ground my consciousness, to work with men again. And this has been really something I've been putting off for years, because men are toxic in general. And I'm not saying women aren't, but there are many men out there that I can connect with on this pure level. After, removing and purifying myself from so much ignorance in my own heart, the ignorance of being narcissistic, of buying into all these psychological diagnoses like complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I want to talk about autism and ADHD, how ridiculous these classifications are at the moment. Everybody seems to be diagnosing themselves with ADHD. So for the first time last night, I went to a men's group, the first men's group I've ever been to, because I'm being asked by Spirit to guide men. And I was really shocked at the huge gap between where I am and where these men are, and I can see why men struggle. These are brave men that have had really, they've got really dark things going on in their lives, and they come looking for something, but they don't know what they're looking for. And this is where I get really angry at the ignorance of society and how it tells us to heal ourselves. And when I went to this men's group, there was this awkwardness, this kind of kid's glove kind of energy, like, sit in your own space, be quiet, and you when you share, you hold a stick, that old caveman thing. You hold a stick, and you can only speak when you're holding a stick and no one else can speak. And this to me is just another version of silencing the voices, because the best way of sharing is to have the right questions asked. So if I'm sharing and I'm telling you about narcissistic abuse that happened to me as a child, what's that then going to do? Yeah, it helps me heal, but it doesn't really help me change my behavior. So there needs to be questions asked. And I'm just dumbfounded in people's ignorance. And I fire it back to myself, I was dumbfounded by my own ignorance, but I've done something about it. I went on a healing journey. Someone said, oh, you've got complex post-traumatic stress disorder, you got narcissistic behavior. I said, okay, I'm going to heal that, instead of buying into all the bullshit that comes with that. And last night it hit like wildfire. It's like 10 men, and all of a sudden one of them goes, oh yeah, I think I might have ADHD, or I'm on the autism spectrum. And then it's like by the end of the session, it's like 7 other men saying, yeah, I've got ADHD, I've got ADHD. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. ADHD is a symptom of narcissistic abuse. It always comes back to narcissism. But people read these symptoms on the line and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to attach to that because it justifies my own behavior, it justifies my bullshit, it justifies my ignorance, it justifies me not doing the work. Men are not doing the work, and I don't blame them. It's because they don't know how. They need a leader. And I'm finding it really difficult to entertain the idea, to acknowledge the idea that I am a leader in this field. And I don't need a fucking qualification to say that. I've got the experience, I've got the knowledge, I've got more knowledge than anything that is out there at the moment, because I've seen what they are. I've seen what narcissism is. I've come face to face with the demon of narcissism. I've come face to face with the demon of ignorance. I've come face to face with the demon of apathy, of depression, of gluttony, of jealousy, of lust, of wrath and violence. I mean, I sat in front of violence and it held a knife to my throat. I could feel it, even though, it was a spirit. I could feel something pushed against my throat. I'm trying to negotiate with this spirit of violence. This was back when I didn't understand how to deal with distortions. So distorted spirits, exorcisms, essentially. You cannot negotiate. This is where authority comes in. You cannot negotiate with these dark emotions. They do not serve your purpose. The only emotions that serve your purpose are love, joy, hope, faith, courage, all these higher dimensional vibrational emotions. These are the only ones that serve you. And all these men, like when I came to sit in front of them, I saw myself at one stage of my life in every part of every single man. And I thought, I know how to help these men, but it would be really ignorant of me to believe that I could say that or do that or tell that to them. And so I spoke to some of them after the sharings, and I pointed out a few things to them, and they don't listen to me. And I'm angry. I'm angry because I feel overwhelmed by the ignorance out there. And I'm actually writing a book about the origin of narcissism, where it comes from, and how it affects everything, and all the slavery that's involved. This is the current theme that's out there at the moment. Is slavery of the feminine, slavery of the masculine, and the silencing of the voice. This is what's out in the collective at the moment, and it's getting stronger and stronger. Stronger to acknowledge and talk about. And when I seem to speak to men and offer them a helping hand, I always tell them the truth. And they're just not willing to believe it. They're just not willing to receive it. People just don't want to hear the truth. I'm overwhelmed by that idea. I would have bit someone's hand off if they'd have come up to me and said, oh, you know what you just shared? That's actually narcissistic abuse, and I can teach you about it if you like. I would have said, yes, please help me, please. When can we meet up? Tomorrow? That's how eager I was. But all these men, they love living in their bullshit. They love living in their own bullshit. there's about 10 different classifications of narcissistic abuse. And my partner sent me a video of this woman going online on Facebook talking about the symptoms of ADHD. They're fucking ridiculous. They all stem from narcissistic abuse. And someone said, I've just seen another meme where somebody said the exact same symptoms as you and they're a narcissistic abuse. I was laughing and her response was, my parents weren't narcissistic. If you believe that, you are really ignorant. Everybody has narcissistic parents, everyone. You just don't understand narcissism. Narcissism is a toxic shame avoidance system. Everybody has it. It's in everything. To say that you don't have it is complete denial, it's complete ignorance. You're not doing the work. Everybody has it. And to heal it is a really beautiful process. It's not easy, but it's a beautiful process. You know, there's 10 different classifications. I could name a few. There's grandiose, covert. I'm writing about all this. Intellectual narcissism, sexual, benign, self-righteous narcissism, neglectful narcissism, and the aggressive one, the malignant narcissism. And there's many more. And these different classifications, they're really well hidden, you know, in our parents and in ourselves and in society, but they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're in our movies, they're in our magazines, they're in our writing, they're in our books, they're in everything we touch and see and listen to. And the ignorance that is involved around the word narcissism, people just switch off, you know, oh, yeah, I'm not a narcissist, I'm not going to listen to this. Or they're just not willing to acknowledge or look at that, or point the finger at me because I'm your mirror and say, oh, well, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And what it ends up in is just a circle. Let me just close the window. It's a circle of repetitive denial and narcissism, because narcissism is a toxic shame avoidance system. So if I say you've got narcissism, this person watching this video, you've got narcissism, are you going to say, oh yeah, he's right? Or are you going to say, what the fuck does he know he's talking about? But it's true, you do. You just don't know it. Or maybe you do. Maybe you are on your healing journey of healing that, which would be very rare. To avoid your shame is to do what everyone else is doing. To heal your shame is to go deep into the dark, and once you come back out, you have to embrace the light, and it's a very difficult journey. But to say that you don't have narcissism is narcissism. It's narcissistic, because essentially what you're saying is, I don't want to feel my heart, I don't want to feel the pain that is in my heart, so I'm going to avoid that and say no, because that's what it is. And I was given an opportunity to, in a plant medicine ceremony with my partner that we held ourselves. We always go in with an intention. Sometimes because I'm quite, let's say, courageous, I take high doses and I go in with a really strong intention. But this time I got my ass kicked. A few weeks ago, I'm just going to close the door, it's very loud. I took a huge dose. No, I didn't. It wasn't a huge dose. It was... I'm going to edit that out. So yeah, a few weeks ago, I went in with an intention, and I didn't realise how strong that intention was. And spirit came down like a sledgehammer on me. And the last 6 weeks have been probably the worst 6 weeks of my entire life. It's been really hard. My intention was to understand ignorance, because one of my guides Pan, the god of nature, and I've been reading some of his books, and he said that the greatest sin of man is ignorance. So I went in with that intention, and I got my ass kicked. I got my ass completely kicked. Ignorance is the gateway to... It's the father of narcissism. Yeah. Ignorance is the father of narcissism. And it is like a wall around the heart. I mean, it's so intricate. There's so much around narcissism, and it's like a wall, a multi-dimensional wall around the heart. You can still get into the heart, but there's certain parts that are blocked. And these are the parts that keep you from your true power. Incredible higher levels of consciousness, incredible manifestation skills, incredible creative skills, incredible remembering, and all these incredible gifts, because we are, you know, in the mental health circle and in the spiritual circle, if you say, oh, I'm broken, someone will say, you're not broken. But that's not true, actually. Your soul is broken, it's shattered into pieces, because over lifetimes, and in this lifetime, either pieces of your either pieces of your soul have been stolen, you've given them away, or you've sold them. And not many people know this. And part of my journey with my partner has been retrieving these. It's called soul retrieval, and there's actually you can pay shamans to actually retrieve parts of your soul. There's a book on Amazon, and we started retrieving the parts of ourselves to come back, to call those pieces back and to become whole again. And it's really powerful magic. And when you understand how that's happened, it's, you know, that really is an antidote to ignorance. And narcissism and ignorance, and the ignorance of narcissism and the narcissism of ignorance, are these huge dark gates that stop you from understanding the truth of who you are. And I'm trying to ground my consciousness by sharing in these videos, but I've had enough of it. I've had enough of society talking complete bollocks. Complete bollocks. I just can't get over it, how much we've been... I don't have a better word for it at the moment other than tricked. We've been tricked and manipulated and disillusioned into believing all these lies. We've bought all these lies about healing. And most of these pathways of healing lead people into thinking they're the best, to thinking they're better than the other. It's the Antichrist, because Christ consciousness is compassion and forgiveness for not knowing. And the other way, the darker way, is pride, the self-pride, grandiose narcissism. And if you read about the 7 deadly sins, they say that the worst sin of them all is pride. And I was shocked at that. But when I was shown ignorance, I was shown my own self-pride, and how I needed to learn humility. And that shows in the collective, you know, the way we treat the planet. We say we're not animals, but we are. You know, I live by the beach and everybody throws their rubbish on the fucking sand. It's pieces of plastic. I'm running along the beach, there's pieces of plastic floating in the sea. I have to pick them out. It's ridiculous. People have lost all respect for the ways of life, the true ways of life. They've lost all respect for the cycles of life, because they've been lied to. Been lied to about what it means to live. Everybody needs to wake up, and that's coming, and I'm excited about it. I'm scared, but there's a big awakening coming for everyone in 2025. And I'm looking forward to it, because people need to be shook. I'm fed up of people not listening to the truth. And I'm fed up of people being lied to. Yeah, I would love to hear people's comments on my video. No narcissistic judgments, please, but just genuine questions like, why do I have this opinion, or whatever. And please like, share and subscribe my video. Thank you.